Graham Matthews, Bleacher Report, Fan-Sided Daily DDT. My man, how you doing?
Doing great, brother. Just bobbing my head at that amazing beat you got going there before we got going. But yeah, doing great, dude. How about you?
Doing good, man. Can't complain. We are taping this live here on Thursday, May 30th, 2024. You can follow Graham Matthews on social media, Twitter at WrestleRant. Find myself, Randy J. Cruz, R-E-N-D-Y, letter J C R U Z on Twitter, X, IG, TikTok, all that good stuff. Find the podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, also on Amazon Music. And if you're watching live on YouTube, thank you. We really appreciate it. YouTube.com/Cruise Control Podcast. Go ahead, download, rate, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Show some love and support for your boys on the program. So, Graham, I know we got a tight window, maybe a 25-minute, 30-minute show, but I figured let's do something real quick. We had King and Queen and King of the Ring over the weekend. We have a new women's world champion. MJF is back in AEW. What else we got here? Becky Lynch and her contract is up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So where do you want to start, man? Where do you want to start?
Let's talk Becky Lynch. I feel like that's coming up on Saturday as far as her contract expiring. So that might as well be the first thing we discuss here.
All right, listen. Becky Lynch contract is up this weekend, right?
Yeah, I think on Saturday, June 2nd or June 1st. Sorry, yeah,
June 1st. Wow. And listen, I know people are gonna say, "Oh, she's going to AEW. She's gonna take a little hiatus, take a little break." I think, if my memory is correct, Graham, I think she was up for some time off anyway after Mania, but then Rhea Ripley got hurt. So now she's in the world championship spot for like a month or so, and then now Liv is a new champion. So now I think she'll get time off. I think they'll renew the contract because can you imagine a world with Becky Lynch going to a different company?
I mean, anything is possible. We've seen some pretty weird stuff happen in wrestling over the recent, just in general, but really just in recent years. We've seen some pretty strange things happen as far as that goes. People leaving from one company to the other.
Yeah.
It is actually possible with her being a free agent. Do I expect it? No, I really don't see what the incentive would be. Whatever money they would pay her, WWE, I'm sure, would pay her even more.
Yeah.
Tony Khan has a budget. He already kind of blew through a lot of that budget, I would think, in signing Okada and Ospreay and especially Monet. If Mercedes did not go there, then there's maybe a better chance, not decent, but like a better chance that Becky would have gone there and been the featured female player. But Mercedes is there. They don't really need her. I think they would benefit if they did, but they don't need her. There's still more for her to do in W. She's done it all, but like more people for her to work with. Her husband works there. She has a kid. That might be why she's taking time off. Rollins is off the road right now. He's been injured. So just kind of going off and doing his own thing. I know Meltzer said it would be an extended absence, so she might not be back for a while. Maybe she wants to have a second kid. Maybe it's a movie related thing. We don't know. But I can not really feasibly imagine her in AEW, but I guess anything is possible.
Just want to point out we are doing this live. So if you're watching live on Twitter or YouTube, thank you. Send us your comments, questions, feedback. I got one coming up soon. Yeah, being a free agent it's like being an NFL free agent. NBA is like now it's like, all right, I want to take my time, see what's out there. But it's in wrestling is only WWE or AEW. It's not like TNA, whatever. We ain't really going. There's not 29 teams to pick from. So with her, it could be just I need time off and spend time with the family. Seth is, not on the road now. He's injured. So and if she does take time off, can you recall how long she's been going without the last time she had a break? Like has it been like a year and a half? Like how long has she been going in this run right now?
About a year and a half. If we're not counting right after Mania this year, she was only off TV for like 2 or 3 weeks. So I don't even really count that. I'm not even really sure she was supposed to take time off because although she wasn't on TV for 2 or 3 weeks coming out of Mania before Rhea got her, she was working the house shows. Like they did like a UK tour and she was working that stuff. So I'm not even sure if she was supposed to be gone. She was probably always supposed to be back, I think. But the last time she was off TV before recently for an extended absence, I think was when she got hurt at SummerSlam against Bianca back in 2022. And then she came back for War Games, the women's War Games match in November of that same year. She was only gone for like 3 months, and then she was pregnant a couple years before that. So like 2022, she was gone for a few months, and this might be something similar.
Yeah. Sam, what do you feel about Jordan Grace will have a match at NXT Battleground. So, Sam, thank you. I appreciate it. So, this is for Graham, not for me.
And it's cool. I know it's an NXT TNA thing in my territory there, but no, I think it's cool. It was a great surprise on Tuesday when she showed up. I'm definitely down for an NXT TNA collaboration. I think both brands can benefit. NXT's kind of a cold product right now. They lost some more talent to the main roster in the draft. They don't have a lot going on right now storyline wise. They do have some talented people. Trick Williams is great. The well runs dry beyond him and Roxanne Perez and people like that. So bringing in some familiar faces from TNA, people that can go and could benefit from the platform, like a Jordan Grace, who is great. She was in the Women's Rumble earlier this year. I think is awesome. If we could see some of those WWE NXT people in TNA too, it's cool. So I think Perez and Jordan Grace is going to be a great match, but I think I might be more excited for what it means for a working relationship between NXT and TNA. That's like mind-blowing stuff. Again, kind of going to show you that really anything is possible in wrestling in 2024.
Back to Becky Lynch. So again, it's like in wrestling, free agency contract is different than you're being NFL, NBA, baseball. I just want to know, like, when Mercedes was a free agent, and I know Tony Khan must have gave her the bag, but we don't know what that number is.
Yeah.
Like, even if Tony Khan was to try to pluck Becky Lynch away, it's like, if Tony, okay, we're playing a game right now. If Tony Khan was to offer Becky Lynch a contract to AEW, I would assume it would be for more money than Mercedes, or because I love Sasha Banks, you know me, but I think to some people that they're gonna say Becky Lynch is worth more than a Sasha Banks or Mercedes Moné. So if Tony Khan was to try to get Becky, it got to be the same number, or if not higher. And also for Triple H, whatever money Sasha wanted with them, it's got to be the same amount or more, I would assume, right?
Yeah, no, it's got to be the same amount or more. I mean, Becky's worth just as much, if not more, than Mercedes. I mean, she's been more of a proven commodity for longer than Mercedes or Sasha Banks was in WWE. I mean, there is enough of a draw equally, I would say, as each other. I would say pretty much all the four horsewomen are. I mean, Sasha and Becky are bigger stars than Bayley. I mean, Charlotte's up there too, but wherever she goes, she would need like the biggest contract of any female star ever. And I mean, Charlotte got one recently. We knew about that. We heard about that at the time a few months ago. Mercedes got a pretty big bag, I'm sure, from AEW. Becky would have to match that. I mean, her value is as much, if not more, than Sasha. Honestly, coming right off of a WWE run too. Mercedes just joined AEW. She really didn't do a lot until Double or Nothing. She didn't really have a great run until she had her first match. They did jack shit with her. She left WWE 2 years ago. She's not fresh off her run there. If Becky were to go there soon, like within a month, which she wouldn't, I don't think, but if she would, she'd be a really hot commodity. They wouldn't have to pay her a lot of money. So I think she's as valuable, in my opinion, as Mercedes, if not more so. I would say, honestly, more so. I think just Becky's a bigger star than Sasha, because I think she just might be a little bit better overall. But they're definitely of equal value at the very least.
Well, Becky was not in the Mandalorian, Graham.
She wasn't. I mean, we've discussed this before, and I can go on we could do a whole other podcast about this.
For real.
But I still don't see, I think there's drawing power potential there with Sasha, with Mercedes. I have yet to see what people are talking about and have been talking about for 2 years now, where she's going to be in movies and she's going to be a big star. We really haven't seen that. I mean, she did one movie about a year ago and it was fucking terrible. It went straight to like Roku, direct to DVD, whatever. And I watched the movie. I didn't think she was all that great. I watched Mandalorian. Yeah, she was in a Disney show, but I haven't seen all these projects. And I mean, yeah, she's done appearances and stuff. Like I've seen her do like red carpet stuff. And I mean, that's kind of basic stuff. I feel like that, and like, she was doing the modeling show or something. I don't know, about a year or two ago. I don't know. Her and Naomi were both doing it.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this much. She has not affected AEW's ratings at all. Not that Becky would. I'm not saying Becky is, but I have yet to see the massive star that Sasha Banks claims that she is and other people say that she is. She hasn't really made a difference in AEW as far as the numbers go at all.
Well,
she's a big star.
Then whose fault is that?
I think it's not, I'm not saying it's her fault. I'm just saying I think people overestimate how big of a star she is. Can she be like a big star? I don't know. She hasn't done like these big projects that people said that she would post WWE. Is she a big star? Yes. Is she the biggest star that AEW has ever had female wise and one of the biggest stars, period? Yes. Is it AEW's booking fault? Yes. But she was also hurt, I think, which might be why she hasn't wrestled. But I mean, the fact that she hasn't made a dent in the ratings is partially her fault. I mean, they put her pretty prominently on the show the last 2 months. She's been on almost every episode. She hasn't wrestled, sure, but even her debut night, I was there. It was a great show, and it got a great reaction. Didn't pop a huge number. And I mean, that was for a show that everyone knew that she was on. People made the excuse, oh, they didn't advertise her. So, dude, it was pretty fucking obvious for weeks that she was going to be there. So she's just not this massive. Like, Punk made more of a difference for a little while more than Mercedes did. That's just a fact. I don't know. We could talk about this all day, but that's just I think she's still a massive star. My bottom line is I think people just overestimate how big of a star she actually is.
So according to Eric, Mercedes deal was around 9 to 12 million overall.
Reportedly, we don't know if that's true.
Reportedly,
for how many years too? Is that a 5-year deal with like what, $3 million a year? We don't know. We just don't know. I mean, I'm not saying that's not true. It could be true. That's a lot of money, dude. To pay her for what, $3 million a year? I don't know. I think that, is she worth that much? We'll see. I don't know. Currently, I don't know. I'm not a ratings guy, or I'm not a booker, so it's not really my problem. I'm not paying that money for her. I don't know. Would I pay that amount for her? Probably not. I don't know, but Tony Khan's a fucking bottomless pit as far as the bank goes. So
I'm looking on Forbes now. Again, I'm just, it's weird how, like, if you're in the NBA, NFL, they would tell you, oh, Graham Matthews signed a 3-year, $145 million deal. It's out to the world.
Yeah, wrestling is weird.
It's like, they signed a new contract up to like $5 million, but you just don't know the year. So according to Forbes, what I could see, all I see is that it falls short of the rumored $5 million per year payday. So I don't know how much she's making. I hope she's making the most of it and get the full bag.
I'm sure she's making a lot of money. Is she making around 5? I honestly, a year? I don't think so. I mean, was WWE even paying Brock that amount? Like, that sounds like fucking Roman type money. I mean, that just doesn't make
Tribal Chief money.
Seriously, like,
that's right.
I mean, he's probably making more than that now, but like a couple years ago, it was rumored to be for Brock like $3.5-5 million a year. Mercedes ain't Brock Lesnar, so I don't know. But again, listen, if she's getting the bag, good for her. If she is making that amount, honestly, amazing. If she can fucking get that amount out of Tony Khan, good for her. Whether she's a return on the investment or not remains to be seen. But I think that's amazing, though. People should be paid more.
I think that this is just her. It's funny how her needing time off is in the same timeline as her contract running out. So everybody's gonna have their own spin, their own story. Like, we seen Steph contract was gonna come run out and he resigned. Drew McIntyre, is he gonna he resigned. So just like, as of right now, I don't see a world in the WWE without a Becky Lynch. So she'll come with May, take time off, maybe be out after SummerSlam. Like, she's been going hard for quite some time. Like you said, family, she's a mom. So I think she'll be back. Amount of years, we don't know. The money, we don't know. But what else we got here? All right, so these guys going all over the place. My man Noob, what are your thoughts on NXT getting a crossover with TNA?
Well, I mean, we talked about it earlier. I mentioned it earlier, but I think it's cool. I think it helps TNA. I think it helps NXT. They could both kind of benefit from the buzz, get some fresh matchups, get some people from TNA, some WWE exposure, freshen up some WWE people by working with the TNA veterans. Maybe get some experience out of it. Maybe we get AJ Styles in TNA one more time. I don't think we do. I think that's pie in the sky, but that would be a fucking awesome scenario. So I'm excited. It's cool. Never thought I would see the day.
And back to Becky. So now she drops the belt to Liv Morgan, is now the new women's world champion. Is that right? I got that right?
Yes, Liv Morgan is the new women's world champion, yeah.
So, so Bayley has what belt?
WWE Women's Championship.
Okay.
So the tag titles and the men's titles they're the WWE title,
In the
WWE
world.
Tag, WWE Women's, and then the World Heavyweight, Women's World, and World Tag Team. So they kind of separated with that, which I like. I
Okay.
like that a lot.
So which belt means more, the one that Liv got or the one that Bailey got?
I mean, they're both. I think they
Okay.
mean the exact same thing. Because one was just the Raw Women's title and one was the SmackDown Women's title.
Yeah.
They just renamed them. The Raw Women's title, I guess, has been around longer. Actually, not really that much longer. They both came around in 2016. So they're of equal value, is my point.
Okay, so Liv Morgan, new women's world champion. She beat Becky at Queen and King of the Ring. Had a title defense on Raw in a steel cage. She won that. And you know, there's the Dominic Mysterio factor now, Judgment Day. She off the air. I know you were very adamant about this, but she kissed Dominic off the air. I guess they thought they were still on air.
Yes.
So she does that, and it's kind of like they just both looking at each other like, what's going on? Are they in cahoots? Are they on the same team? I don't know what's going on, but it's a very interesting storyline. So again, Becky's going to take off. We know Rhea's injured, and Judgment Day is in flux. Damien's still world heavyweight champion, but now Liv is the women's champion. She injured Rhea. Dominic is with the mommy thing with Rhea. So how would you have this all play out? And do you want it to be a situation where they were in cahoots the whole time?
I would be fine with that. So first of all, I'll mention this quickly. The fact that it did not air was just ridiculous. I don't know how it doesn't air. I know there were certain markets where it did. I heard from people on the West Coast and in Canada and other international markets that said that it did. At least here on the East Coast, it did not on USA Network. So
yeah,
don't understand that at all. I think that's ridiculous. If you can't fit your shit in a fucking 3-hour show, that is just nuts to me. They got to time that shit better. But the angle itself, I thought was cool. You know, I don't really want Liv and Dom to be an on-air pairing. I don't really think that's necessary. You know, someone pitched that to me like when Rhea first got hurt.
Yeah.
And I said no. I'm more open to it now, but I still don't think Liv needs Dom or vice versa. If they want Liv to kind of be the catalyst behind Judgment Day's demise, whether she's with them or not, I think that's cool. Like she kisses Dom and makes it look like, hey, Dom's with me. And then Rhea splits up with Dom because of that, but Dom's not actually with Liv. There's a lot that you can do with that. I think that's cool. I think the whole angle is great. I think that and the Alpha Academy stuff is the best thing going on Raw right now in the absence of Rollins and Drew and Punk and shit like that. So, I'm down with it. I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with it.
So my point, going along with Noob is saying, Liv Morgan will have her time only to drop the belt to Rhea at SummerSlam. So one, we don't know if Rhea is going to be back by SummerSlam. Two, if that was the plan, then in our minds, then why do this whole thing with her and Dominic just drop the belt back to Rhea unless there's a real, dissension amongst, like, this is you doing this is keeping Judgment Day alive. So we don't know how long Judgment Day will be together, but somebody's got to fall out of that group. But Damien is going to leave at some point in time. Is Dominic and Rhea going to have a rift? Like, does Liv take Rhea's spot in Judgment Day? It just can't be, I have the belt, and then when she comes back, I'm going to drop it back to her, and we're back at square one.
I mean, I guess. So, yes and no. I mean, they have to do something with the belt in the meantime. Liv had to fucking win the belt. I mean, I said this, that Liv should have won from the get-go, but I think the way they did it was smart. I think having her beat Becky, and I've said this before, having her beat Becky one-on-one at the pay-per-view on Saturday, and then on the subsequent Raw, even though it wasn't a great match on Monday, having her do that meant more than having her win the belt in a random Battle Royal. The Battle Royal meant nothing. Becky has nothing to prove. She held the belt for a month. She can have a short run. Doesn't matter. Liv finally got her win over Becky in the process. She's never beaten Becky before. Becky brought that up. She finally beat her. Got the championship that Rhea lost, whatever. And now she wants to take her man too, because she said she would take everything that Rhea loves away from her. This is part of that process. Rhea getting the belt back is inevitable. Rhea, the last person to beat Rhea one-on-one was actually Liv Morgan 2 years ago. So Rhea has, I mean, I think she's beaten Liv since then, like in a random throwaway match on SmackDown or something. But, Rhea getting the belt back is always going to be the end game. It's not her getting fed to Rhea. It's not like she's losing the belt within a month. She will at least be champion for the next 2 months, at least 2 months. You can have her beat Rhea in the first match, and then Rhea can beat her in the rematch. That's like the Punk thing. I think with Punk
Yeah.
and Drew, Punk should not win that first match. I would have Drew win, prolong the program. Same thing with Rhea, like you said. First of all, we don't know when she's coming back. Second of all, you can have Rhea lose the first match and then win the second one. She will be champion again. She will get that belt back. That's fine. I wouldn't say that she's getting fed to her, though. If Liv's made to look like an equal, that's the key. But making the whole Judgment Day demise thing the focal point in the meantime is really smart because it does add more fuel to the fire, like you said.
So I know Noob mentioned SummerSlam, which just reminded me. So we had a Queen and King of the Ring. And Triple H did say that the winner of the King of the Ring, men and women, is going to have a championship match at SummerSlam. So that means Gunther is going to get either Priest or Drew McIntyre. So now Nia Jax, she's SmackDown, right?
Yes.
Okay. So that means she's going to get Bayley at SummerSlam, right?
They made that clear. You can't choose the belt. It's the belt of your brand. Yeah.
All right. So boom. That's why Liv and Rhea would make sense. Okay. I want to make sure Nia wasn't on Raw and she's going to fucking get Liv Morgan.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it. I mean, I just don't want Liv to be that transitional champion where I hold it down for a little bit while you hurt, and then Becky's going to be taking time off, and then when Rhea comes back, here you go, and I drop the belt to you, and then I don't do shit for 6 months.
So I agree with that. I agree.
It has to be interesting where her and Dom are like this new power couple. It's like Edge and Lita, like stuff like that. Like, oh, this is like, all right, let it be entertaining. Take Dom away from Judgment Day, let him turn on Rhea, make Rhea think that, oh, Dom is still behind you, and they can have the match at SummerSlam, but then Dom crosses Rhea. Now you really see that he's really down with Liv and all that. So, okay, hold up, Noob. There's going to be a lot of factions to get split up this summer. Judgment Day, Alpha, Damage Control, because Damage Control is pretty much lost without Asuka. So, if there's a timeline, Judgment Day by SummerSlam, are they intact or are they split up?
I don't know if completely split up, but no Damian, or at least no Rhea. And I think Damian is soon to follow as well in the footsteps of leaving the group. So I think it could still be intact without him. And
Alpha Academy, that's going to be up soon, right?
Yeah, but I think they'll just be replaced with the Creeds. I think we'll probably get Gable with the Creeds, honestly, and that'll be the new faction.
And Damage Control without Asuka is
I don't think they're going anywhere. I know they're teasing tension. I mean, why? I guess you can split them up. I think Raw needs a babyface because Becky's gone for now and Rhea's hurt, so you kind of need a babyface. You have Lyra, but she's not enough. So maybe they could split Io off as a babyface or Kyrie or something. I don't know.
Okay, Graham, help me out. Is there a Brooks Jensen or a Brox Jensen wrestler out there?
Yes, there is. Brooks Jensen from NXT. Yeah.
Okay, so Eric is asking, is the injury a storyline or do y'all know anything about? Here you go. Do y'all know anything about Brooks Jensen? Is it true or a work? I have no idea what you're talking about.
I have no idea what he's talking about too. Unless something happened in the last 30 minutes.
Hurt or fired? I don't
know. I think they just have nothing for the guy. I think he's just off the show.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Could be hurt. I don't know. No one really cares about him, so.
So, do you like Hunter putting the stipulation on for the King and Queen of the Ring that if you win it, you're not just floating around with a fucking crown and all that? And Gunther has not put the crown on yet.
Yeah.
He's just carrying I don't know.
But you should. I don't think you should wear it.
So nobody. So you don't want Gunther or Nia to wear the crown.
To wear the crown, Nia can wear the crown. I mean, she did on Sunday or Saturday, and I was fine with it. Gunther should not. I just think I think he would just look goofy as fuck. And also, just a quick side thing, I think Brooke Jensen is actually released. Looking at my Twitter timeline now.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I think that's what he's referring to. We tweeted like an hour ago about like, oh, you know how it goes, and it's like a link to booking info. So he was from NXT. I think he got let go. That's what he was talking about. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, so it's true, not a work.
I don't think it's a work. It could be a work. I think that would probably be real, but I could be wrong. I would have to look into that a little bit more.
So real quick, I know we're on a very tight schedule. So people who are watching, we're going to be back next week with a longer show. Schedules are really tied up. I probably got like 5 minutes left. Real quick. So SummerSlam. Oh yeah. So you like Hunter putting that stipulation, the winner of the King and Queen of the Ring gets a title shot at SummerSlam. And now with that happening, does that make you think like, all right, so you got Clash coming up at the castle with Damian and Drew. Now, if Gunther's waiting for SummerSlam. Now it's like, damn, does that change your mind about who wins that clash at the castle?
It does, actually. I think Damien's going to retain, because if Drew's the champion, unless Drew loses it before SummerSlam, which would be dumb, then I think Drew and Punk is the match for SummerSlam. I do think Punk will be back by then, and you can't do that match if Gunther's the number one contender and Drew is the world champion. So I think Drew's going to lose again at Clash, which is kind of dumb, but I think Punk might cost him at that show, and Damien walks into SummerSlam instead as the world champion and then loses to Gunther on that show.
So Gunther will leave SummerSlam as world champion.
I think so. I think you can have him lose and then get the rematch in Berlin a couple weeks later and win it in Germany. But I just feel like that'd be stupid. Just have him win it at SummerSlam and then have him defend it in not his home country, but I think he's from Austria, obviously. But he can get that home field advantage as the champion and not as the challenger.
Okay. Real quick, MJF returned to AEW over the weekend. Everybody was saying he came in with the Triple H MSG.
He did, yeah.
O2 vest and the jean jacket. Looks different. What did you make of MJF coming back?
It was cool. Great moment. One of the better parts of the show. AEW desperately needed him back. The product has kind of been lacking a lot without him. He's not going to save the show, but he is a big benefit to the show. Nice new look. A lot of different directions you can go with him going forward. He's a great asset to the product and just the company in general. So I'm excited that he's back. I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to do now that he is back.
Graham, last question. Did I miss anything?
No, I don't think so. I think we covered all the main points. I mean, there's small stuff, but that's all the big stuff, though.
All right, Eric. Last one. Context. He's talking about taking indie bookings. People are saying he was released.
I don't think so.
Graham's my source. I asked Graham for stuff. He's my source. I
don't have an inside source. I just looked at his one tweet. I mean, it looks like he said, "You know how it goes," making it sound like I got released, so here's where you can book me. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he probably got actually released, but I'm waiting. I'd have to go look at Fightful or something. They're much better with that shit than I am. Yeah. It could be a work. It very well could be, but I assume it's probably legitimate.
But listen, Eric, Noob, Sam, everybody who chimed in, I really appreciate it. I know we're kind of in a rush here, but next week we'll have a longer show. We promise you that. Follow the podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, also on Amazon Music. YouTube.com/Cruise Control Podcast. Go ahead, download, rate, comment, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good stuff. Show some love and support for your boys on the program. Graham Matthews, Wrestle Rant on Twitter, Rainy J Cruz on Twitter, IG, TikTok, RANDY, letter J, CRUZ. Graham Matthews, I know we'll chop it up next week.
Sounds good, brother. I look forward to it.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right, you too. Adios.